Well, I didn't expect it to stay good forever.
Hello.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Eric, and today I'm going to continue the Obi-Wan Kenobi review series. We are on episode 2. I thought the first one was pretty good, decent, a little better than I expected, to be honest. I expected complete trash, and I gave it a 7.5. I thought it was all right. It set the stage a little bit. I had some issues. I thought there were some awkward scenes, some pretty bad acting, and all the things I didn't like about it were pretty much amplified in the second episode. And also, one of the big things I was worried about was, would this mess up continuity? Because Princess Leia in episode 4 doesn't seem to have ever met Obi-Wan Kenobi. She puts that message out to him, trying to get a hold of him, saying, "You fought with my father in the Clone Wars." Didn't say anything about how, you were helping me out when I was 10. Remember when I was a little girl and you were hooking it up? No. Seems like she might have mentioned that. Unless her memory gets wiped. But you know what? You can't just wipe everyone's memory when it's convenient. That's not good storytelling. But aside from the continuity issues, I had a lot of problems with it. It really comes off as some kind of low-budget sci-fi type show. Like, it really doesn't come off as like Star Wars, like you would want to see, especially on the big screen. I know it's not on the big screen, but you would hope you would get something that would be comparable to what would be on the big screen with the type of budget and the resources that they have. Bringing back, Ewan McGregor to play Obi-Wan. You think we're going to get some quality stuff, and I'm just not really seeing it. Not to say that it's all bad. Let's get into this episode. I thought the beginning where he's walking around the city, it had a cool vibe to it. The cinematography and all the CGI looks pretty good, so I haven't seen anything overly offensive. But it had a cool vibe in that little city where he's walking around, talking to random people, and I liked that. But very, very quickly, it seems, someone's coming up to him, and it seemed like kind of convenient, writing. Hey, I know where a Jedi is. You need some help? I know a Jedi. It's like, wow, that was quick. Like, just took him right to him. I felt like there could have been a better way to get Obi-Wan to that room where the Jedi was than just some guy coming up and saying, I know where a Jedi is. I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but it just came across as like, really? So anyway, he goes into this room and the Jedi's in there, which he's not, of course, a real Jedi. And it's obvious and it's comical because it's intentional. It's like we're supposed to be able to tell that's not a Jedi. Obviously, not even close.
Spaceport passenger check, gate 3C. Do you read? Over.
This is gate 3, copy. Who is this? This is a private channel.
This is a Jedi mind trick. Do not be alarmed. I am inside your mind.
And he's scheming this, this mom, and I think she's with her son, if I remember right. Anyway, there's a couple of people in there, and he's, trying to pretend he's a Jedi, and it's so obvious that he's not, but it's actually kind of funny. And the actor that portrays him, that fake Jedi, Kumail Nanjiani, is like awesome. He's in a lot of shows and movies, and he's, you probably recognize his face. Really good actor. So he was funny in this one. Not like laughing out loud, like anything like that, but he was mildly funny and entertaining and good actor, and I like him. And hopefully he becomes a good character in this show. Obi-Wan is obviously pretty good. It's Ewan McGregor. He's doing his thing, and he's fine. But that's pretty much where the positives end. I was a little worried about little Leia in the last episode. I mean, she's obviously adorable. She looks kind of like a little Leia. And I'm not trying to be mean to the little girl, but I just don't think she's a great actress, even as a 10-year-old. I'm taking that into account. I've seen much better 10-year-old actors. Now, maybe it's partially the lines she's given, because she's given lines like she's 25. And it's even said by Obi-Wan Kenobi, like, you don't talk like you're 10. Like, it's even acknowledged. And that's fine. I mean, she could be a very smart 10-year-old, but even smart 10-year-olds don't say the things she's saying. And the way that the actress delivers the lines feels like she's just saying what she's supposed to say, but in her eyes, and sometimes just you can see that she's not really feeling what she's supposed to say. She's just saying what she's supposed to say. But you don't feel that intelligence. I'm not saying she's not an intelligent little girl, little 10-year-old. I'm sure she is. I'm saying you don't feel like she's got the intelligence of a mature 25-year-old, like she's saying the lines like she is. She's saying the lines like Leia would say if they cast Leia as an adult. If, we had Carrie Fisher out there, so the stuff that she'd be saying. And it's like, wait, hold up. This is a 10-year-old. I'm not saying she can't be a smart 10-year-old, but I think they went overboard with it. We want to see Leia as a little girl. We've already seen Leia as an adult. We're just seeing Leia as an adult. And it looks awkward. Even when she first meets Obi-Wan, you look kind of old and beat up. What kind of thing? What 10-year-old would say that? And he doesn't even look that bad. Other lines that she said, why should I trust you? But she didn't even say it that well. Like, I just said a better line delivery, and I wasn't even trying. And not convincing. And then again, the chase scene, another chase scene. This time, Obi-Wan's chase. So we have this chase scene was even worse than the first episode chase scene, because this one goes on and on. Obi-Wan's right there with her. She takes off in her little tiny little steps. She's not moving fast. Obi-Wan, I know he's a little older, but I mean, come on, and you can catch her like this. He's running and running after. Then she starts jumping over these huge, gaps in the ground, and you look like she's about to jump, and you're like, oh my gosh, but then it cuts, so you don't see her. You see her upper half, and then she does this little tiny little hop. I'm like, yeah, that would not have made it over that huge gap. It's not the big screen, I get that, but it's still, this is Disney, this is Star Wars, and it's just not convincing. It doesn't have the right feel. It just felt just awkward again, just weird. And she doesn't have it. She, like, when you look at the little girl's face and her expressions and her eyes, she's not there. She's not there. She's just like, it would be like I grab my little niece or something and then we make a pretend Star Wars movie and she says the lines, and I'd be thrilled with that performance if I was doing that. But this ain't that. It's just not. And it's not coming across as professional. It's not, I'm lost. I'm like not into it. I'm gone. I'm taken out of it. Now, I thought that it was a good idea the way he was forced to use the Force, in that he had to save her. She fell off a cliff and she was going to fall to her death, so he had no choice. And he uses the Force for the first time in, I'm sure, 10 years. And I liked that idea, but the execution of it, it comes after all that awkwardness and that chase scene, which is just like at that point, and then she jumps, which she was never going to make it anyway. She almost actually ran it. She jumped pretty far. She falls down. She grabs it. Then you have the very cliche, holding on to it. Help! Help! Very, very cliche, very tropey. A lot of tropey and cliche lines all throughout this episode. And then, of course, you can tell she's going to fall, which did a pretty good job that you can sense she's not going to be able to hang on very much longer. She's about to go down. And that's exactly what happened. And then he uses the Force. And that's a cool moment. I think the execution could have been so much better. Could have been so cool. She falls. And he has to use the Force there. And that's what happened, but I think it could have been more emotional. It could have been better done. I just did not think it was very well done. And, I already know that they don't care about Star Wars. The people who own Star Wars do not give a F about Star Wars. And it's obvious. You can tell. They have a lot of money, and they could throw all that money on there. But even then, they're obviously, they're not, I don't feel they're casting very well. I don't think that little Leia, I think there could have been someone better. She looks great. She looks fine, but she's just not pulling it off for me. I know a lot of people love her. She says she's stealing the show. I give her the benefit of the doubt in the first episode. I didn't really say anything about her acting. I thought she was cute. I thought she was adorable. I thought I liked some of her lines there. In this one, it's too much. It's not working for me. Reva is getting a lot of criticism, and I mean, yeah, some of her line delivery is not the best either. It's just a little awkward, and it does come across kind of low budgety at times. Sometimes she's all right. I'm not saying she's terrible all the time. I can deal with her a little bit better. She kills the Grand Inquisitor in this episode, and the Grand Inquisitor is one of the few characters I liked. I thought was a pretty cool villain, but I had a good idea that Grand Inquisitor wasn't going to last too long because Reva's going to be the main villain, and later I'm pretty sure where they're going with her and where this show is going to pretty much wrap up. We'll see. We may have a little arc there with that character, I'll just say that. But a lot of awkwardness, just bad execution in this one, bad acting in this one. Other than just a couple of cool moments. Obi-Wan kicks some ass in this show in these first two episodes. I'll say that. I'd like to see that. We don't see a lot of that, like that hardcore hand-to-hand combat stuff. I mean, he's kneeing people, he's taking them down. It's some badass stuff. I'm enjoying that because he can't use the Force. So, he still has got some skills. He's still got some combat skills. And I'm enjoying that. That's pretty cool. There's a different side of Obi-Wan we haven't really seen too much. It's not that clean, it's Jedi stuff. It's more like, some brutal combat. That's pretty cool. Reva doing her mind reading stuff, I like that scene was okay, when she was able to, first, the guy says, I'm the Jedi you're looking for. She quick, yeah, no, get the hell out of my way. And then he, doesn't get out of her way, says something else. Then she figures out, wait a minute, you're not a Jedi, but you know where one is. She's able to read that quickly. And then she, takes him to the wall. trying to say, where is the Jedi? He won't talk. Says, you know what? You don't need to talk. She finds it herself. So I like that scene. That was pretty badass. I'm not going to lie. Like, I enjoyed that. But even there, it's not as cool as even what we've seen in the Disney sequel, with Kylo Ren and his acting. It's just there. And pretty much everyone, as much as I hate the Disney trilogy, as much as I despise it, the acting is far and above what we're seeing here. This really does look like some low-budget TV shit. It really does. It's coming across like that. The first episode was, Obi-Wan Kenobi had a lot of the screen time, and I think that's why I didn't really notice it as much. But in this episode, as more screen time are going to other characters, it's becoming more and more obvious that the acting is a problem, in my opinion. And overall, this episode left me cringing. The last scene, the Anakin moment was pretty cool, but it should have been so much more cool. It should have been so much better. And overall, I can't lie. Like, I can't say that I'm disappointed because my expectations were low as hell. And actually, the first episode I thought was okay, and there's some moments I enjoyed in this one. But overall, I didn't think it was any good. If you had told me to guess beforehand, I would have said the first episode was probably going to be like a 5. It'll probably go worse from there. And the second episode will be like a 4. Instead, I gave it a 7.5 in the first one. And this one, I'm going to give a 5 out of 10. I didn't think it was very good. Let's hope the third episode is better. But let me know what you guys think down below. It's just not coming across as strong. If this was a movie and I'm sitting in theaters after about an hour, if the first episode and the second episode was a movie and I'm sitting here watching, I'd be like, oh, God. I've never seen acting this bad. And again, I hate to pick on a 10-year-old. It's not just her. And it's some of the other characters, some of the side characters as well. It's just some really awkward and bad line delivery. It's just not good. And the little girl, she's just not there, in my opinion. She's not quite, the words are there, but the mindset doesn't appear to be there, in my opinion. I'm sure many will disagree and cuss me out, but it's all good. You guys have a fantastic day. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you think of Kenobi episode 2. And I'm about to watch 3 right now. I'm behind, I'm catching up, and hopefully I'll be caught up very soon. And we'll be doing these reviews as they are released. We'll see you guys. Peace.